This is a cuboctahedron frame based on a design by Damox. I've modified it by adding the balls in the middle, which give it a lot more mechanical strength and give it a more finished look. It's made by adding layers to each triangular face, and each triangular face has the opposite magnetic orientation than its adjacent face. It can be started by putting down rings of 6, 5, 2 5s and a 4. Do that twice. Flip over the first 5 and the 4 to change its polarity. Make a triangle out of the 6. Connect it to the 5. Make a triangle out of that. Do the same with the next 5. And then create a triangle with the 4. Repeat that. On the second unit, remove the tips of each of the triangles. And now I'll connect the 4 tip balls on this one to where the tip balls had been on this one. If it's correct, it'll be drawn into the middle. If it's not correct, it'll be pushed off to the side. So if it's not correct, just rotate by 90 degrees, like that. Now connect the remaining 3. And that makes a small cubical frame with triangles in the corners. I'll add the next layer by putting down 8 rings of 6. And flipping these 4. And then adding these 4 to every other. That's wrong, so rotate a little, put it on that one. I'll add them to every alternate triangular corner. And then the remaining 4 go on the 4 remaining triangles. Use 12 balls and fill in the corners. This shape is now strong enough for the balls to be put in the middle. I need to push them in using tools, and the tools I'll use are a toothpick with a pointy tip, a toothpick with a cut-off tip so it's blunt, and a retractable pen so that the edge can be used to push on magnets. The balls in the middle take the shape of a small cuboctahedron like this. You can see that these 4 balls on the top face correspond to these gaps on this face. There are 13 balls total, 1 for each edge, that makes 12, and then 1 in the middle. And that one in the middle needs to get pushed down in the middle of the process, because if you put all 12 edge balls in, it's very difficult to get the middle ball in. So my strategy is to put in about 8 of the edge balls and do it in a orderly manner, and then push the middle ball in, and then finish the sequence. So I will use these 13 balls. And I'll connect them for convenience there. So now I've got a ball in each of these spaces, and if I rotate this 90 degrees, you can see the balls are there, 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 and there. Now I'm going to try to put in balls here and leave all 4 spaces here open. When you push the balls in, they don't necessarily go where you intend them to, so I may have to adjust as I go. Let's see, so let's see if I can get that into the edge position. Yes, okay. So now I have, in addition to this face being complete, I have a ball at each of these edge, kind of center edges, and that leaves these 4 open. So now that makes a kind of a cup, and so the next step is to try to push the center ball in. I'll do it from this face. I'll try to push it straight down. And it did not go into the center, and so now I'm going to use the pointy toothpick to push it out and then rotate it down. I rotated it down, but it took a ball with it. So it grabbed the ball from here and pushed it into that position. So I'll just use a ball here to replace that. Rotate that into position, and you can see I've restored the ball there. So now I need to put these 3 balls into position, and that'll finish it. So now you can see that it's complete on each of the 6 faces. To complete the cuboctahedron, I'll now put down rings of 9. And as before, I will flip these 4. And now I'll put down these 4 on the remaining 4 triangles. To finish it, I'll use these 12 balls to fill in the corners. Now I want to connect these 2 cuboctahedron frames at these square faces. When I orient the magnetic fields, this is not correct. And by rotating this by 90 degrees, this is correct. The reason for the 90-degree rotation is that each edge is part of a loop, and the loops are going in opposite directions. So whereas this one may be going that way, this one is going that way, and then that one's going that way. So when I rotate one by 90 degrees, I'm effectively reversing the magnetic orientation of each edge. So now to connect them, I'll remove these 16 balls on this face and connect these where this 16 had been. Now before I connect them, I try to line each of the open ends up to about where it would normally be when it's finished. And that just helps the connections get made when I bring the two edges together. So now I just line these up, and at this point it's actually pushing apart a little bit, but as I get closer it'll draw in like that. And push a little to complete it, and you can see that these edges need to be realigned to the right position. I'll connect this row of cuboctahedrons to this structure in the same way. I will remove the balls on the surface here and here, and connect it to this row. Now I'm going to put this square on top of this frame, and to do that I'm going to remove the top 16 balls from each of these columns, and then I'll put this on top. So first I'm going to do a polarity check. And since I can see that these balls line up, this looks like it's the wrong polarity. So I'm going to pick it up and rotate it 90 degrees and put it back on top. And there I can see that this ball is behind that one. So this is the correct polarity. I'm going to mark this and this so that I know that these two positions go together when I bring it all back together. So now I'll remove all the balls on the top. Okay, now I'm ready to put the top on. check to make sure it's aligned. Sometimes these triangles, the triangular joints, open up and you can't really close them. A really good way to get those to work again is to just take off this ball. That allows the magnetic field to rejoin between these and just put it back on. There's always a lot of these edges that get out of place, and every time you make a joint you have to fix it.